Now, today I want to talk about my wife's second DUI, which is driving under the influence. Yesterday I talked about her first DUI. The second one, I could see it coming a little bit closer because I realized that she was going down that path, and it wasn't such a big surprise. But unfortunately, this would have been about a year and a half after her first one, so we're talking around 2014, 2015, probably late 2015. And she went to a friend's house in Huntington Beach. So from where we live, it's about an hour and a half. And I really didn't want her to go down there. It was a get-together with some of her friends. I believe her friend's daughter was having a shower because she was getting married the following summer. And I knew that there would be wine and probably drinking, and I knew that was a very, very bad idea. Her friend also had an issue with it, but she wasn't. She didn't drink very much. On that, with that in mind, I was very concerned that she was driving an hour and a half on her own, because at this point, her license was still revoked, and she was driving around with it. You think, well, why would she do that? Well, you can't control somebody. That's what you don't understand. If you have an alcoholic in the family, you don't have any kind of control with that. You can take keys away and all kinds of things, but it's an impossible situation for families and spouses, especially if you've lived through that. So my wife went down to her friend's house about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She actually left before I got home, so when I got home, she was already gone, which made me a little bit nervous. I knew where she went. But I was glad that she was getting out of the house, because she was, home a lot, because she really wasn't allowed to drive a whole lot. So I knew this event wasn't going to go well. So she went down to her friend's house. It was around, I think, 10 or 11 o'clock, and I realized that it was getting late, and I hadn't heard from her. I called a couple times on her phone, never heard from her. I figured, well, maybe she's busy. So by 12 o'clock, I decided to call her friend. I mean, I know how parties go. They can last along. And I actually called her friend up to find out if she was still there. If she was, I said, well, why don't she just spend the night and come back Saturday morning? It would probably be a lot safer than driving at night. So I called her friend. It was probably around 11:30. It was pretty late to call, but her friend answered, and she said, Amanda left. She left like 8 o'clock. Isn't she home yet? And I just went, oh no. This was 3.5, 4 hours later, and she should have been home hours ago, and she wasn't. And I asked her friend, was there drinking going on there? She goes, well, yeah, we had some wine. We had some friends over and stuff. So, her situation. Why did you let her go? I goes, well, I don't have any control over her. Amanda, you can't control her. And I was kind of pissed off. I go, well, why did you have her come down there? She's an alcoholic. Why did you have her come down there? Well, it's not my position. I going back and forth with a friend, and I realized it was a futile conversation. I said, well, I don't think this is going to end well, but I'll let you know what happens. So after I set the phone down with her friend, I realized, what had likely happened. And I left one more message on Amanda's phone, didn't pick up. This time it's probably 12:30, and I just went to bed. I said, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to worry about this. This is just ridiculous. I've been through this so many times, and if people don't understand that, you've just never lived this type of situation. If you spent your entire time looking for somebody or searching for somebody, they have to find their own rock bottom. And this, you would think that this was for her, but it wasn't. And what I discovered, she did get a DUI. In fact, she fell asleep on the freeway coming home. Literally on the freeway, parked on the shoulder of a major freeway in Southern California. Cops found her, took her in, and it was just a mess. She called me again like 7:30 the next morning when she was able to get a phone call, and I had, she expected me to come drive an hour to come get her. And quite frankly, I waited a couple hours to go get her. I really wasn't in any hurry. It was a Saturday. I had some things to do. I'm not going to make it a priority, and you really shouldn't if you're a family member. And eventually I did go get her, and she was at a restaurant across the street, and she was already drinking a glass of wine in front of me, and I got very mad. I said, well, if you want to ride home, we're leaving right now. Pay your bill. I'm not going to sit here and watch you drink a glass of wine. And it was I got it. It was really became a scene in the restaurant. I said, well, if you want to ride home, I'm leaving. So she did pay the bill, and we left. And it was a lot of angst. This was her second DUI, And what a lot of people don't realize, the implications for me as well as a spouse. I think the biggest problem I had was twofold. She was very defiant. It wasn't her fault. She just wanted to get out, and she got out and she got caught again. I mean, there was no attitude of culpability or responsibility, and that really fried me. I think it would fry anybody. The other thing is, the following week I had to go, get the car. She had a BMW X5. I had to go get that at the impound lot. I think that was about $800. And when I got to the car, there was 2 bottles of wine. One was opened and one had spilled all over the front seat, which was fairly typical. There was also a dent in the side of the car because obviously she forgot to tell me that she hit the guardrail. And this is what you deal with on a regular basis. And that was her second DUI. And again, real quick, we have the Facebook group. The link is in the bio. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. You can go to Facebook and find it, or just go to the link in my bio and just join. It's a very good peer group if you're an alcoholic or have a family member who is. You can get questions answered. Also, when you're ready to work with me one-on-one, I want to work with people who are ready to change their life and the lives of their family. Link is in the bio for a breakthrough call. It takes about 45 minutes or so. We do a deep dive into what's going on with you, go over the program. And again, thanks for listening.